Have you ever felt so deeply connected to someone that no matter how much distance, silence, or obstacles life throws in your way, the bond refuses to disappear? That connection that feels like home, that shakes your soul, and that no earthly logic can ever explain? If you're listening right now, you probably know exactly who I'm talking about, your twin flame. And yet, here's the burning question. If twin flames are destined, why do so many still struggle to reunite? Why does union feel so close, yet so far away? Today, I want to walk with you through a truth that many avoid speaking about. What can actually prevent two twin flames from coming into physical reunion? Because here's the thing, union is not just about meeting your twin flame. It's a process that unfolds across different layers: spiritual, energetic, mental, emotional, and physical. And each layer requires growth, healing, and alignment. So what are the obstacles that can stand in the way of this sacred union? Can conditioning, fear, karmic ties, or even free will stop two divine souls from coming together? And more importantly, if these blocks exist, how do we dissolve them? How do we prepare ourselves for the love we know in our hearts is already ours? Let's dive in. 1. Earthly conditioning. One of the first and biggest obstacles is the conditioning we've all absorbed about love, relationships, and what's considered right or wrong. From childhood, society, culture, religion, and even our families have told us what love should look like. Maybe you grew up hearing that love must follow a certain order: meet, date, marry, stay together forever. Maybe you were told that love has rules, limits, and boundaries that, if crossed, mean you're doing something wrong. But the twin flame connection does not follow earthly rules. It exists outside of what people label as normal. And when our minds try to fit this extraordinary connection into a very ordinary box, confusion, guilt, and shame arise. You might question yourself. Is this wrong? Should I walk away? Should I try to force myself to love someone else instead? That guilt and shame can keep twin flames apart, not because the love is gone, but because the conditioning convinces one or both twins that the connection shouldn't be. But here's the truth. Your soul knows better. Deep inside, you know that this connection transcends human-made rules. The real question becomes, are you willing to release the conditioning and trust what your soul already knows? 2. Ego. Now, even if you begin to break through conditioning, there's another massive roadblock: ego. And let's be honest, ego is one of the toughest things to face in this journey. Ego thrives on expectations, fears, jealousy, anger, resentment, and judgment. You might catch yourself thinking, why haven't they reached out? Why can't they see how much I love them? Why do they keep running? On the flip side, your twin might be wrestling with their own fears. What if I'm not enough? What if I get hurt? What if this connection destroys the life I've built so far? No, the ego builds walls. It convinces us that protecting ourselves from pain is more important than opening ourselves to love. But the twin flame journey is not about protecting the ego. It's about dissolving it. The more we cling to control, expectations, or resentment, the more union feels delayed. So the question becomes, are you ready to step out of your ego and into unconditional love? Because ego says, I'll love you if you meet my expectations. Soul says, I love you because you are me. 3. Karmic contracts. And then there's karma. Many twin flames are bound by karmic contracts, unfinished business with other souls that needs to be resolved before union can fully anchor. These contracts might appear as karmic relationships, family obligations, or cycles of repeating lessons. You may wonder, Why do they stay in that relationship if their heart belongs to me? Why can't they just walk away? The truth is, karmic contracts aren't about punishment. They're about growth. Until those lessons are learned, the soul keeps looping in the same patterns. And it's not just your twin who might be caught in karmic cycles. You may have your own karmic contracts to release too. Ask yourself, what patterns am I still repeating? Where am I still giving my power away? Because once karmic debts are cleared, the soul becomes free to choose love from a place of alignment, not obligation. So while karma may delay union, it never denies it. The key is patience, trust, and focusing on your own healing, rather than waiting for the other to finish theirs. 4. Ignorance or non-acceptance of the path. But even when karma clears, another challenge often rises. Ignorance or non-acceptance of the twin flame path. Not everyone awakens at the same pace. Sometimes one twin is wide awake, fully aware of the depth of this connection, while the other is still resisting, dismissing it, or running from it. It's painful when the person who feels like home refuses to even admit that such a connection is real. You may hear them say, "This is all in your head. You're imagining things. We're just friends. We're not meant to be." But here's the deeper truth. Denial doesn't mean the connection isn't there. It simply means the mind isn't ready to embrace it yet. And that's okay. Awakening cannot be forced. The question is, can you continue your journey even if your twin is resisting theirs? Can you hold space without clinging, without forcing, without begging for recognition? Because when you embrace your path fully, your light becomes the very mirror that eventually awakens theirs. 5. Resistance to inner work. Now let's be real. This path requires deep inner work. Healing wounds, dissolving fears, and releasing trauma is not easy. And resistance to that work is another reason union can feel delayed. Sometimes, we think if we just wait long enough, the universe will hand us union on a silver platter. But the truth is, union is not given, it's created. It's born out of the inner transformation of both twins. If one or both twins resist looking within, if they cling to old patterns, avoid healing, or refuse to grow, the connection remains in limbo. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Am I doing my inner work, or am I waiting for them to change first? Because the magic happens when you realize your healing automatically shifts the dynamic between you and your twin. Every wound you heal is one less obstacle in the way of your reunion. 6. Lack of faith, patience, and trust. But even if you're doing the inner work, there's still another challenge. Faith. This journey requires patience, trust, and surrender. And let's be honest, waiting in uncertainty is one of the hardest things to do. Sometimes the lack of visible progress can make you doubt. You may think, it's been months, it's been years, nothing is changing. Maybe this isn't real. Maybe I should just give up. But here's the truth. Lack of faith can block the flow of divine timing. When you give in to doubt, fear, or impatience, you unconsciously close the door on the very miracle you're waiting for. The real work is learning to trust, not just your twin, but the divine plan itself. Because union happens when both souls align with divine timing, not when your ego timeline demands it. So the deeper question is, can you trust the love in your heart even when nothing seems to be happening on the surface? Can you surrender your timeline and let the universe orchestrate the reunion? 7. Stubborn mindset. And here's another block, being attached to one specific outcome. Many times we hold on to rigid expectations of how unions should look. We picture the exact way they'll return, the exact words they'll say, the exact life we'll live together. But twin flame union is not about controlling the outcome. It's about surrendering to the unknown. If you cling too tightly to one version of reunion, you may actually miss the path the universe is opening for you. For example, maybe your twin doesn't come back when you expect, but in that time apart, you grow into the version of yourself who can truly sustain the love. Maybe they don't say the words you've been rehearsing in your head, but they show their love through actions instead. So the question is, are you open to receiving union in the way the divine intends? Not just the way you expect. Because stubbornness creates resistance, while openness invites miracles. 8. Free will. And finally, the most powerful factor of all, free will. Even though twin flames are deeply connected, even though your souls are bound in eternity, in this earthly life, both of you still have the power to choose. That means union is never forced. Your twin has the free will to delay, to resist, or even to walk away in this lifetime. And so do you. Does that mean reunion is impossible? Absolutely not. It simply means that while the connection is eternal, the physical expression of it depends on the choices both souls make. This is why your journey cannot be about controlling the other person. It has to be about mastering yourself. Because when you choose alignment, healing, and love, when you choose to embody your highest self, you naturally magnetize your twin towards the same. So the question is, what choices are you making today that either move you closer to union or keep you further from it? So can anything prevent twin flames from reuniting? Yes, conditioning, ego, karmic contracts, ignorance, resistance to inner work, lack of faith, stubborn expectations, and free will can all create blocks. But here's the deeper truth. None of these are permanent. Every obstacle can be dissolved through awareness, healing, surrender, and love. Union is not just a destination, it's a process that starts within you. Because when you heal, you clear karma. When you trust, you dissolve fear. When you surrender, you release expectations. And when you love unconditionally, you embody the very vibration that calls your twin flame home. So let me ask you, where are you on this journey right now? Are you holding on to conditioning? Are you still wrestling with ego? Or waiting for them to change before you do? Or are you ready to take your healing into your own hands and align with the love you already know exists? If this message spoke to your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs encouragement on their twin flame path. And if you feel called, leave me a comment and tell me, which of these blocks do you feel you're working through right now? Remember, union starts with you. Keep trusting, keep healing, keep believing, because no obstacle is stronger than the love that was written for your soul before time even began.